Hey guys, Tiffany with another video, and as you guys saw in the title, this is going to be all about the ColourPop No Filter Foundation. Y'all already know, if you are familiar with my channel, that I freaking love ColourPop products. I stand for ColourPop here on my channel. For the most part, every ColourPop product that I've picked up, I have absolutely loved. I love the No Filter Concealer, so when I heard they were coming out with the foundation, I knew I was going to get it. I've worn this foundation for about 2 days now. I am going to do a first impression, although y'all know how I feel about first impressions. I don't think they're the most helpful because your thoughts can always change. So I'm going to give you guys my initial impressions, but trust and believe that I'm going to bring you back my final thoughts after wearing this foundation for a while on what am I hauled it, but how was it videos. So definitely make sure you're subscribed and make sure you have your notification bell on so that you don't miss out on my final thoughts on it. But I also know that this is one of those foundations that pretty much you can only get online, and it's going to be a little hard to get your whole shade match right. So I wanted to do this video so anyone who may wear some of the same shade foundations that I do, you'll be able to see how the foundation looks on my skin tone, and that may give you a better feel of how it will look on you. But no more talking, let's get started. So on top of releasing this foundation, ColourPop also released loose powders as well as pressed powders. I ended up picking up 2 of the loose powders, the shade Banana and Translucent. I did use both of them today. Now today was my first time using the setting powders because for whatever reason, ColourPop messed up my order and they shipped everything out separately. So I got the foundation first. I actually ordered 2 foundations, 2 of the same shade. So I got the foundation first, which is how I've been able to wear it for a few days. But what I want to do is go ahead and read you guys some of the things that ColourPop claims this foundation is supposed to do. They say it's developed for the selfie age. Is that what we're in now? Are we in the selfie age? Not the dark ages, not the Roman ages, but the selfie age. Our full coverage natural matte foundation delivers flawless looking skin from day to night. It's oil free, lightweight formula, blends smoothly, and it's easy customizable to create the coverage you want. They say you can build it up or sheer it out, and it was developed with innovative soft blurring pigments to deliver true color while looking and feeling natural. It has a lockable pump, is easy to use, and keeps your routine mess free, and it's 100% cruelty free and vegan. Now you do get 25 milliliters in here, which is 0.85 fluid ounces, so you don't get the full 1 ounce that you get with standard foundations, but the foundation's only $12. So $12, a little bit shy of an ounce. Like, are we really gonna complain? I mean, I'm definitely not. The foundation does come in 42 shades. There are a mixture of undertones. There are golden undertones, yellow undertones, neutral undertones, cool undertones. Like, there is a lot to choose from. And I also want to commend ColourPop because they have a little matrix on their website where you can compare other foundations you wear to try and see what your foundation shade would be in their no filter foundation. But that was a buzz for me because they give you the Fenty Beauty foundation, the Estee Lauder, I think a couple of drops like the CoverGirl foundation or something like that. But I tried to guesstimate mine using the Fenty foundation and the Estee Lauder, and it told me my shade would either be dark 170 or dark 180. So because it was like I didn't know which one to go with, I just decided to go ahead and get dark 175. So that is the shade that I am going to use in the demo. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and jump into the demo so you guys can see the application. You can see how it applies on my skin, and then I'll come back and just let you guys know what are my initial thoughts on this foundation after wearing it for a few days so far. So as you guys can see, I have already did my eyes and my brows. I primed my face. I decided to go with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. Now, one of the main reasons I love that primer is because it just gives me such a nice filtered look. It does a really great job at kind of like blurring out everything, but it's not the best primer when it comes to like keeping me matte. So usually I'll use it in conjunction with a matte primer, but because this foundation is supposed to be more of like a matte finish, I decided that I would skip the matte primer portion of it. I am going to use my Delium Tools 957 Precision Kabuki brush to apply this foundation. You guys can see my skin is like 3 different shades. Like, my face is certain colors here. It's darker some areas, it's lighter some areas. My hand is way darker than my face. But then if you look at like my face and my neck and my chest, it's a totally different color. But I definitely don't mind going with a foundation shade that may be a little off or a little bit more golden or a little bit darker, just because there are some areas on my face that are darker. It's just hard to match my face to one shade because it's about 3 shades. This foundation does have more of a liquidy consistency, so you definitely want to make sure to shake it up, and when you shake it you can kind of hear it moving around in there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take, that is 1 pump on the back of my hand. I'm going to use 2 pumps. So that is what 2 pumps looks like. It's very runny. As you can see, like it's a very runny, liquidy foundation.
I'm not trying to wait. Come pull it to a place. We gon' go up and down. I'll make it go left and right. I'm alone for the night, baby, and I'ma make it go a little crazy. Promise that life for you. Yeah, Jodeci cry for you. I think I want you. You not no waste to you. I do you when I want to. Like controller, controller. Yeah, me I the controller, controller. Like controller, controller.
So this is what those 2 pumps of the foundation initially look like, and I do think that it gives a really nice medium coverage. You can still see my freckles peeking through, and I tell you guys all the time, because you guys are always like, Tiff, why don't you show your freckles? Why are you covering your freckles up? I mean, it just naturally happens kind of when I have on foundation or when I add concealer, but you can still see my freckles peeking through the foundation, where I have a little bit of discoloration here on both sides of my cheek. I'd call it my natural contour line. You can still see that peeking through. I mean, but other than that, I do think the foundation has a really, really nice finish. I do think I would just want to add 1 more pump just to show you guys how it builds up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly. So here is how the foundation looks after I build it up. I did add 1 more pump to it, and I do feel like this foundation builds up really nicely. The concealer that I'm wearing is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in the shade Tan 50. Somebody told me that since they first released it, I guess they changed the shades. That's what I've heard. I haven't been on the website to investigate for myself, but this is the concealer that I purchased when ColourPop like first came out with these concealers. So I have Tan 50 and I love this shade. It does give a nice highlighted look to my under eyes. Now they shipped my setting powders separately for some reason. I ordered the foundation and the setting powders at the same time, but I don't know if they got the order mixed up, so they shipped them separately. So I haven't had a chance to try out the setting powders. I picked up both translucent, which is this one right here, and then also banana, which looks like this. Now you guys know normally I'm really picky when it comes to banana setting powders because I don't like to have that day glow under eye look. So I'm hoping that this doesn't give me that, because I figure I use banana underneath my eyes and I kind of just set my whole face with the translucent powder just so I can get a good feel for it. So that is what I'm about to do now. I'm gonna open it. It looks really tiny. It looks like a travel size. You know how Sephora sells like the Laura Mercier and the travel size? That's the vibe that I'm getting. So the brush I'm using is my Kat Von D number 25 brush. I'm not really trying to bake with this. I just want to more set my under eye. This powder is like really finely milled. It almost feels like I'm not applying anything, but I definitely know I have product on my brush. Why do we make this face? Why do most people make this face when they're doing anything with like the eyes like that? It's not cute, girl. So I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about this powder. It's pretty sheer, which is not a bad thing, because it's a setting powder. You know, it's meant to set your face ultimately. So it's pretty sheer, but I just don't know how I'm feeling about it. I'm not really, I think I'm just so used to how it looks with my DermaBlend Warm Saffron underneath the eye that I find myself always comparing other powders to that, and I'm expecting them to give me like that same under eye look. But I'm not, I don't really I don't really feel like I like how my under eyes look with this powder though. Like it's like really sheer. I think I'm gonna go ahead and add my my warm saffron on top of this just a little bit, because I'm not sure I like how this looks. And it's just gonna be like a personal thing. You guys might be looking at the video like, Tiff, what are you talking about? Your under eyes look fine. But I think I'm just gonna add my DermaBlend Warm Saffron on top, just a little bit of it, because otherwise I'm probably not gonna be satisfied with this look. So first I want to talk about the packaging of the foundation. I don't like this. At first I thought they had forgot my top. I was like, how did they ship my foundation and it doesn't have a top to it? I don't know. There's just something about foundations, like I just need a top because I think about travel. Now it does come with a twist, like lockable top. So the top does lock. But I'm just one of those people, like I need extra security and I need a top on here. So I don't really like that. But I do like the fact that it's a glass bottle. It's smaller, so it's definitely travel friendly because it's not going to be like big and bulky if you want to take it to travel with. And I don't really like the fact that the top is white because it's just going to get like super dirty. But again, that's just kind of me being picky. As far as the foundation within itself, I do like the shade that I picked, which again is dark 175. I know you guys saw in the demo and you guys have seen before if you're, you know, familiar with my channel. My face is like 3 different shades, so it's really hard to match my foundation to one shade. Sometimes I can end up going too light because I'm trying to match it to the inner portions of my face. So a lot of the times I like to match it to like the outer portions of my face or spots where I'm a little darker. So I'm okay with going a shade dark than what it should be, and I feel like this foundation just came out really good. Like I love the finish of it. I think the color ended up matching me really well. It kind of matches my hands, and I showed you guys how my hands don't really match my face, but now with the foundation it kind of matches to my hands. So but again, I really like the color match. I love the finish of this. This is such a lightweight foundation. It kind of feels like you're not wearing nothing at all, which clearly I'm wearing a face full of makeup, but it's really light. And that's not always the case with matte foundations. Sometimes the matte foundations can feel really heavy on the skin, but this is super lightweight. This is super breathable, so I do really love that. I do think this foundation gives a nice natural type of look. I don't think it necessarily looks like super cakey or it gives that like really heavy makeup type of look. I think it just gives a really nice natural type of finish, and I love that. I do feel like it blurred out my pores a little bit, but that also could have been the primer that I use, or maybe just the combination of them together. But how I noticed my pores usually with some foundations, I wasn't really noticing my pores like peeking out too much with this foundation, and I like that. I think that after wearing this for about 6 hours, you may start to see some creasing around like your smile line area or anywhere you tend to crease, because that is what I found with this foundation. I started noticing creasing within my smile lines, but that happens with most foundations with me, so I wasn't really too mad about that. About the 8-hour mark, I started noticing where it was separating from my nose, but again, that's something that also tends to happen with foundations. It can be taken away with just kind of adding a little bit of blotting powder or some powder to just kind of get that shine off and kind of fix that separation a little bit. But it wasn't anything again that was a deal breaker, because overall so far I do really like this foundation. It's $12, and to me it is giving off more of a high-end vibe, so I feel like how can you be mad at that? And again, it just looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, I'm here for it. I really like it. But as I told you guys, that definitely can change. I want to wear this foundation for a while. You guys know I like to wear things for a few weeks before I give you my final thoughts. So that is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to continue to wear it. I'll bring it to you in a haul about how was it. But just so far, I have to say I am really liking this foundation. But now let's go ahead and talk about the powders. I did pick up two. I picked up the banana powder and I picked up the translucent. I hate the packaging of these. Like, it's so small. They give you a lot of product, don't get me wrong, but it's really small. And if you're used to using bigger powder brushes, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult to get your brush into it. Like for me, I love using my Delium 980 large powder brush to set my face all over, which is what I did with the translucent powder. And it was really hard to like get a good application with the brush. I was trying to pour some out into the cap, but I ended up spilling it. Like, I don't know, you either have to use a smaller brush or just figure out a way that works for you. But I really do not care for the packaging of these. When I used the banana powder underneath my eye, it was pretty sheer, and I didn't like it. I did not like the look of it, so I ended up going back and applying my DermaBlend warm saffron powder on top of it, because I just didn't like the look. If you don't like heavier powders, I think these powders would be, you know, great for you. But for me, just using this underneath my eye, I didn't really like it. And I'm not one of those people that likes to bake, so I don't need a heavy powder underneath my eye. But I just don't think this did the best at setting my under eye. So far with the translucent powder, I didn't really notice like that white cast that can sometimes happen when you use white setting powders. Although this one is more of like a beige. It's not completely white. It's like off-white. But I didn't notice that. I didn't notice any flashback when I tried to take a selfie. So so far so good. I'm gonna again continue to wear at least the white setting powder. I don't think I'm gonna use the banana powder because I just initially didn't like it. So I don't think this is something that's gonna work for me. I will continue to use this one to just set my face. So I'll definitely bring you guys my updated thoughts on it. But overall, those are just my initial thoughts on some of the new ColourPop products. As I said, they did also release a pressed powder, and since I don't really like the loose setting powder, I think I may actually look into the pressed powder and see how that works out for me. I'll leave links down below. I'm not sure if any of the shades have sold out, but like I said, I mean, it's $12. I feel like you definitely can't go wrong as far as the foundation is concerned, because it does give a really nice finish. You're just gonna have to find your shade, and that shade matrix they have on there, because like I said, for me, it was giving me 170, it was giving me 180. I probably could have went with 170. I think 180 would have definitely been off, but I do really like 175. So for those of you who've been looking to see videos to see how it might match as far as you getting a foundation shade, I definitely hope this was helpful. Let me know down below what you guys think of the foundation overall, like how it's looking so far. And if you pick this up, what are your thoughts, whether you like it, dislike it, the powders and all that other good stuff. You guys know I love and appreciate your feedback, so keep it coming. And until next time, bye YouTube.